Eurobox presents Swamp Deaths, written by Giblett. Giblett is the author of 30 books of fiction and faction. He lived by a swamp in Western Australia for 28 years and wrote several books about it. He now lives in Melbourne and wrote about it as a city of ghost swamps in several books. He's honorary associate professor in the Writing and Literature program at Deakin University. With its rich blend of fiction and faction, crossing between history and philosophy, and combining memoir and biography, Swamp Deaths is a unique series of detective stories written by a swamp ghost writer. It mixes different types of texts and creates new and intriguing ways of environmental storytelling that will fascinate and delight rusted-on readers of detective fiction and attract new ones. We asked the author which was the inspiration to write this book, and I'd like to read for you his answer. When I was researching my book about Melbourne, I discovered newspaper articles about 2 deaths in 2 different swamps on the same day. The coroners in both cases delivered an open verdict. This coincidence perhaps hid a longer story in which the 2 cases were linked, and that needed to be told, so I wrote the first story about these 2 cold cases. I then thought about all the other swamp deaths that I could write about, such as the death of Venice built in swamps, but sinking and being inundated by rising sea levels in the age of global warming. I told a friend that I was writing this book, and she told me about another real cold case of the death of the swamp lady in southern Victoria in Australia. I researched this case and wrote the second last story of the book. The death of the Australian author in the Downing of MH17, who had written a book about a swamp in southern Victoria in Australia that I had read and then reread, prompted the last story. This is a perfect reading for readers of detective fiction with an appreciation for the history of the genre, readers of environmental writing with an appreciation for new ways of storytelling about wetlands, readers of the work of Walter Benjamin and Henry David Thoreau with an appreciation for their mysterious lives in radical politics, and readers with an appreciation for mixing genres such as memoir and biography, and mixing modes such as history and philosophy, fact and fiction. Swamp Deaths by Giblett is now available in bookstores and digital platforms. It's a publication by Eurobox.